All right, BLaKBoXXRadio. We are in the BMore BLaK Series. We're in the box. This is our series for Black History Month, as they say. You know, it's Deemed BlaK History Month for the country, National Black History Month. But we know there's no history in America without Black history, without Black people. So we were intentional about starting this series in Baltimore about that's Be More Black, and that's about Black people in space being great in their own spaces. And so tonight, I'm a host, I'm Queen of BLaKBoXXRadio, and we are a media platform for Black excellence. We platform Black people, we talk about Black genius, and we disseminate information to the Black community. But not only do we do that, we humanize ourselves to other communities who know nothing about the Black experience. And so tonight, we have our sixth voice. We got a power sister. Y'all can see her. She's power. We got a power sister with us tonight. Say hello to people, Kim Poole.
Greetings, greetings. How are you, family? Thanks for tuning in.
So we're so happy to have you. And, you know, Haki was big on me. I have to talk to Kim Poole. I'm just trying to tell you right now, my brother, my big brother Haki, he was like, listen, I done told you Kim Poole needs to be at your mic. And so I got in touch with you, and here you are. So tell the people, first, let's talk about your backstory. Let's talk about like where you from in Baltimore. You went to school, you know, because you're from Baltimore originally, right?
Born and raised.
All right. So let's talk about that first, and then we're moving to your story.
Wow. So I guess we from West, East, primarily West though. I moved East once I was an adult.
Okay.
And but growing up, definitely West. Once in high school, I was in Baltimore County. And so all of that right near Northwestern High School. Technically, that's still Park Heights in the city, but you know, once you go over the line, you in the county now. So you moving on up. So we celebrated that. I went to Milford for high school as well.
Okay.
Then I moved back to Park Heights, worked at Northwestern again. Then over east, going to Morgan State University, orange and blue. Doing a lot with
MSU. You better know it. I'm a graduate. I love it. Go ahead.
Oh, yes.
That's
well,
right.
I didn't graduate. I didn't graduate.
That's all right. That's all right.
Spent a lot of time on the bridge, you know, bridgeology.
We said it together.
Too much fun.
Yes.
But I did eventually transfer to the University of Baltimore and, you know, saw my graduation day on their stage.
Okay.
So, but Morgan helped me grow up in a lot of ways. I was there forever. They just ought to, right? And with the choir, we traveled the world. Dr. Carter, rest in peace.
Were you with Nathan Carter?
Yes, Dr. Carter. I got, you know, older Nathan. He wasn't as, you know.
Oh, he wasn't as upfront.
Yeah, I got nice Nathan.
Nice Nathan.
Yeah. Okay. And but he took us, I mean, Paris, Russia. Like we really had an opportunity for a girl from Baltimore, you know, to go on these all expense paid trips to share my art form. Those things were transformational. Exposure is so important, especially international exposure. And, you know, for me, a lot of those first opportunities outside of Baltimore internationally were with the choir at Morgan. So I have to always acknowledge those folks in that place. And I wish them well, too. Even Conway. Even Dr. Conway.
You know, the choir is a major, it's probably the biggest income stream for Morgan State University.
Absolutely.
Choir, yeah, it's well renowned. It's like Morgan is a national treasure, but our choir has definitely, especially when I was there, that's when Nathan he was fierce, he didn't play, and and he was just the man. And so the choir was known everywhere. And so when I hear people who was on the choir, I'm like, wow, they went everywhere. So you went to Russia, you went to that is amazing.
Russia, Paris, it was nice. A lot of different places. They paid for a lot of those buildings too, secretly and quietly. But
you better know it. Yeah. you better know. I said the largest income stream. They were that. So as so you graduated from University of Baltimore. So what have you been doing? What did you do since then?
Well, at UB, I feel like a lot of the knowledge that I gained over almost an 8-year period, trying to
Wow.
graduate from school, working in community nonprofits, I culminated in what was called interdisciplinary studies. And I began to realize that the concept of studying these individualized sectors, these single majors, was really ineffective for community, but it was
Mhm.
also unrealistic.
Yeah.
Knowledge is holistic, it's
Wow.
interdisciplinary by nature. And so
Hmm.
I was, I'm in political science class. I guess they looked at me and said, this girl don't know what she wanted to do. She in ROTC. She might try out for the basketball team. I mean, what is it that are you an artist? Because we artists, we sing all day, every day. We in the practice room.
You doing
When we not in
everything.
the practice room, we in voice lessons. Then we playing piano. And we don't really know if you belong here with us. But once I got to the University of Baltimore and I learned about interdisciplinary studies, which was my major,
Okay.
I ended up having 3 concentrations. And so one of them was history, the other was political science, and the third was community affairs. So basically civic engagement. And so I learned about these concepts, and naturally as an artist, those things had an implication and an effect on my art form.
Okay.
And so once leaving the University of Baltimore and trying to explore ways to use my degree, I found myself back in some of the same community institutions where I began, like the Community Schools Initiative, and
Okay.
back in the Park Heights community. And I guess that circle goes around and round, because now with some of our newest initiatives in the Teaching Artists Institute, like our Artists in Residence program, we're back in Park Heights again. Transforming some of the houses in that community to provide opportunities for under and overhoused artists to really focus on their craft and to find affordable housing. And so we've been drawn to that community in so many stages of my life. And I'm like, oh God, am I gonna be here forever? No. I love
Wow.
Park Heights.
You
But
15 certified. I hear you. You 15 certified. I hear
yeah,
you.
but I look at how my education has been holistic, and most of it happened outside the classroom. But I do appreciate those intentional classroom spaces. But the lesson I learned most profoundly is that the community is your classroom, really, in every form, in every concept, in every school of thought. It's the community that really helps you to understand the concepts that you learn and are
Huh,
introduced to.
that's amazing. So you segue right into my question about the Teaching Artists Institute. So definitely lay down what that is and what you guys are doing because it sounds so interesting.
So what do we do? So I don't want to overwhelm you, because a lot of people, we answer that question and they're like, that's amazing. So what do y'all do again? So currently we work in 7 countries. 6 of those countries are on the continent. So we started in Ghana. We're also in the Gambia, Liberia, Uganda, Tanzania, and then the United States. We have done work in Jamaica, in the Maroon community of Nanny Town. Um, but that work hasn't, it's kind of taken a break. I'll say that for the past year, since COVID. We
Okay.
haven't been able to continue our work in that area, but we still consider them a part of the family.
Okay.
Um, and so in these communities, we find ways to connect art to social transformation. So that
Hmm.
looks different based on the symbolic landscape. So, what is art? In the Teaching Artists Institute, art is simply creation, um, even ideas, concepts. All of these things in our pedagogy are considered art. And then what is the artist? I guess that's you, because you created this incredible platform with Black Box Radio. But being the creator means taking your ideas, taking your thoughts, and turning them into something that they wouldn't have been without your energy, without your manifestation. So you are an artist.
Wow.
Social, that's us. Social, that's everybody. And transformation, that's the process. not this idea that we're trying to reach this final destination, or that we're going to end at this mountaintop. Well, you know, I've seen the mountaintop. I've heard these speeches about, you know, us going to
Mhm.
this final place. But
Sure.
transformation, it celebrates the process, that it's
Mhm.
continual. And so now your problems don't seem so heavy, because you know that they're just a part of the process too. And so art for social transformation is using our ideas, using our creations for the good of we, for the good of us, all of us. That's the social sphere, to go through the process, to decide what the process should be in its entirety and continue that motion. And so that is art for social transformation. And some of the outputs of that in our various regions, they really depend on the symbolic landscape. I mean, it looks different in every area. Under and over housing is an issue in Baltimore City. So through our creation, we now have the Thai Air Artists in Residency program. But there may not be many overhoused artists in, say, the Gambia, or even underhoused artists, because their community structure is different, very family oriented. Everybody
Right.
has a family house, and it doesn't matter how old you get or how many children you have, you're always welcome in the family
Mhm.
house. And so that just isn't an immediate need in the community structure. And
Right.
so what has been created there, for example, was birthed out of our conference, the Artisan Conference. And we host that once a year. We connect artists and art culture to sustainable
Ooh.
development.
Oh,
And
wow.
so the Gambia was our second location. And one of the things that we realized that they needed in terms of art for social transformation was an opportunity to change mindsets. So
Mm.
many of the artists there are no longer artists, because artistry is seen as, I don't know, not serious. I guess we hear it too with our parents here.
Yeah.
Maybe with other institutions, like, oh, you decided to study art? Oh,
Mhm.
you're not serious about life.
I
Wait,
know.
you're
Yeah.
not an attorney? You didn't
That's
choose
right.
medicine?
Yeah,
But all
you
these
don't
things
have
are
a
art
professional
forms,
job?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not serious. And so showing them arts integration into community with programs like our Shiro Shop, where we teach women to make beauty products from their natural environment, like moringa, baobab, hibiscus,
Wow.
showing them that the cosmetology industry is still an art form. And so seeing art outside of just the traditional art forms is a part of the work we're doing in the Gambia. So just doing what each area, doing something that supports that area's process,
Yeah.
pursuing art for social transformation. Um, I said a whole bunch.
You said
So
a
I'm
bunch,
gonna go ahead
but I love
and
it. I
let you
love it.
finish.
Because what I want to know is how do you, okay, so I hear that you have these regions, right? So how do you connect to now come into a region? You're a child of the diaspora. You come into
Mhm.
Africa or a country and you set up shop. How does that all happen? You connect with other artists, or are they giving you the invite to come, and then you, how's that source, how you resource it, where's the money coming from to teach these people and to house you, how does all of that come together? Because that's amazing.
Okay, that's a lot of. We're
I
gonna
know there's a
talk
lot of
about that
questions.
one at a time. So,
Because it's just people think like Africa is so unattainable, and a
mhm,
lot of our minds, I hear people say, I want to go to Paris. I want to go to Europe. We never say, listen, and not never, but most people want to go to a European country. We want to go to Amsterdam, but we don't think that we can go to Africa and just visit, and it's beautiful, and connect with the people. So I was wondering, how did you do that from
well,
15?
the it all started with the art,
Started with
music.
got it.
So I began to get booked for what we call the festival chitlin circuit, right? And
Whoa.
with my music, um my performances became more and more in Ghana and Nigeria and a lot of those places in West Africa. I've performed in Senegal stadiums of people. I don't know what they knew about soul because I've never heard music like I sing in their area when I was trying to do research to say, how can I spice it up in a way that they will connect? But I didn't hear anything like what I was doing, but I was on a ticket. I was booked and I never felt that famous before. It's nothing like going into a stadium full of people. I mean, a sea of people in the stadium. And I said, man, every local artist should get a chance to feel this, famous. And those shows, they would pay to fly me in. They would pay for my hotel stays and give me food, nice food. I would rub elbows with big artists over there that really weren't famous. And I would think, shucks, this is not the Africa people know about. Because, growing up, you see the African commercials, just 10 cents a day.
The flies.
Just 10 cents a day. And you could save a village, and so that is kind of what you have in mind. And and then as an adult, you begin to, through your art form and through my art form, to be invited to be a part of these tickets, these shows. And that felt great. But then I stopped and I look around and, you still got the 10 cents a day commercials in your mind. And you see that, wow, there is a lot of infrastructural development that needs to happen here. And it's not everybody, but it's like the tale of two cities, just like in our city. In Baltimore, you could show the Baltimore that looks like, you would say, is this Baltimore? I mean, you go in some of those communities down there next to Micah, but if you make a wrong turn, you'll say, is this the same place?
You're in a war zone. Yeah, it's amazing. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy how they have created, what do they call it? The white L and the black butterfly.
Black butterfly and the white L. Yep. The black butterfly is the outskirts and the white L is down.
Is in the middle. Yeah. Exactly. And it's real. And that is happening in Africa too. So we can relate to that. But the disparity is so wide because of the lack of infrastructure. It's felt so deeply. But the talent is so great. The things that I've seen them surmount, overcome because of the creativity. I said, I need to be a part of this. Yeah. I can help. And they can also expand the scope of my own creative limits. And to me, that was the perfect exchange. And when I went into spaces where those conversations were happening, there were little white girls from Peace Corps that were in charge. And I'm thinking to myself, why is my Black brother and sister in this country and that country only representation of America this young girl?
Are you kidding me?
Yes. And so for me, it felt like an opportunity, right? Sure. To change the narrative. It felt like an opportunity to get involved and to say, we're going to give them another option, right? We're going to figure out how to be at the table, because it wasn't that anybody was keeping us out. But like you said, it seems unfathomable. It's like Africa, me working in Africa. Well, I may at one point in my life heard that somebody went to Ghana. Everybody goes to Ghana. It's like, oh, you went to Africa? How was Ghana? Was it nice? What?
Yeah,
but
like,
to talk about
to go to Africa. That's not a vacation for us. No.
Absolutely not. And it's also seen as, like, I hear now people saying, why? Like, why Africa? It's like, listen, Africa is the first and last frontier. Everybody is there but us, culture aside, identity aside, repatriation and healing and all of that aside. It is the largest frontier because it is one of the richest continents in the world.
The only self-sufficient nation in the world. It's the only nation that can live from itself. It does not need any help.
Nothing.
Everything can come from Africa, and it doesn't need anything from abroad. That's amazing. And we won't go and see that. We have to see it.
Yeah, it's it's necessary. And I think that for me, in the development of the Teaching Artists Institute, and it's crazy because we don't work in Nigeria, But we went in 2014. I did a concert series across the country to raise funds for the girls that were abducted by the Boko Haram terrorist sect.
Exactly.
You know, the Islamists,
Yes.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
They call
the
them
Chibok
terrorists.
girls. The
Yeah.
Chibok girls are from the northwest region of Nigeria, and so they were abducted. And my friend had just married a Nigerian, and so you know we were real into Nigeria at the time. Um, he was Yoruba, and we're watching it on the news. And I was upset. I'm like, that's ridiculous. And she like, girl, what did you going to do? And she changed the channel. And I just felt so bad. And at that next moment, I called every promoter and producer that I had ever met with a Nigerian name. And we booked this concert series across the country. And it was successful. We partnered with the Rotary Club of Ikeja. Ikeja is like the capital of Lagos, that state, you know.
Legos
And
is like New York. They said Legos is popping.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Except they don't have no streets. And sometimes the lights go out.
And
And
no
I don't really
electrical
like
at
that.
night. Yeah, yeah. They
Yeah,
don't
but the
do
guys drive past in Hummers and Bentleys, but they don't drive on regular streets. It's like, listen, if you got a Bentley, you need to put in some money on this street.
That's
But
true.
anyway, they we were there and we did so well. We partnered with the Rotary Club and they supported us. We had newspaper articles. We did shows in a coca at the university and what is the place called? Leaky, the new development, VI, and
Mm.
um, all these places. Um, Victoria Island is what VI stands for. And when it was all done, the drummer in my band, he said, "What's next?" And I said, "Next, I just took off work for 2, 3 months. I'm about to lose my job and everything. I'm going home. Next." People never satisfied.
I
And he
know.
was like, "No, but when you were on stage, you spoke as if, you know, you said we should be doing something. And you spoke as if you had something for us to do." And I was like, oh no, that was the hypothetical. I was saying like you should, you know, get up and do something. And when I got home, um, I felt bad. I felt like I was just talking about it again. I
Mm-hmm.
came because I didn't want to be the person to just talk about it. I wanted to do something. And I
Right.
thought I had done something. And what I realized that was just the beginning of
Yeah.
doing something. And out of that conversation was birthed the Teaching Artists Institute. And at first it was just like a series of workshops to
Mm-hmm.
help artists understand their social responsibility. And now it's just way too much. Like we do tourism, we do study abroad, cultural exchange. I mean, we're building buildings, we've got, you know, land and, you know, working with architects and it's way too much.
Really?
Never what, yeah, we never counted on all this. But I mean, it's a good problem to have.
It is.
Um, and I don't know, you asked about funding.
Yeah,
We've
how
never
did
had a
that come
grant.
about? Yeah.
We don't have any grants. So if you have grants, give them to us, please. Now we need it. Um, no, I mean, we're in some of the countries where we work, we are registered as nonprofit. We're not registered in the DMV as a nonprofit.
Okay.
And so we don't apply for traditional grants. We do have a small army of donors that support this work all over the world.
Excellent.
We do have products and services that we sell.
Okay.
But ultimately, our biggest funding sources have been people like you. Like it's not science. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes consistency. And
Mm.
so we've been able to consistently put out the products and services that our people want and need in different regions. And so as a result, they support us.
Sure, sure.
Now, we have taken some traditional dollars from institutions. For example, in Ghana, our conference was co-sponsored by the U.S. Embassy in that region. And so they help to pay for certain things. And it depends. The U.S. Embassy doesn't want me to necessarily be the representation in my organization, to be the representation of America. So the only reason we got that funding was because the local institution said, this is our American partner, and we don't want to work with your initiatives and outcomes this year unless you're working with them. because this is who we're working with. And so they almost had to present a very diplomatic ultimatum.
Wait a
I
minute.
sat and watched it.
Let me make
So
sure that I got that. Wait a minute. Let me see, because I don't know if I digested it correctly. I'm not sure if this is what you said. You said that the U.S. Embassy did not want you to be the representation of what America looks like. So within that, they did not want to actually fund. You can see I'm going. So
yeah.
they did not want to fund what you wanted to do because they particularly did not want you to be that representation. Am I clear on that?
So that was my interpretation. What it looks like for them is like, you don't meet the standard. You're not
And
qualified. Who
uh,
invited you here? How did your
uh,
program get established? We didn't invite you here. so
so they
how did
want to
you
be
get
the
here?
source of your. So if you don't go through them, then you're not the representation. So that's what they're saying. You have a partnership with actually someone in Ghana or an institution
Yeah.
in Ghana, and they
So
would.
our partnerships, so our partnerships in Ghana were with Ghanaian leadership and institutions.
Got
Our
it.
partners in the Gambia, we worked with the Office of the President. Me and the president, we're in his office. And so we tried the same thing after leaving Ghana in the Gambia. We're like, oh, well, if Ghana will, but Ghana's a huge embassy.
It
Gambia, they're just holding on by a thread. So we took the same thing and, basically the Office of the President introduced us to the US Embassy, and they're like, oh, we can't put anything on paper because then they're going to hold us accountable and say that we said, we were going to fund you and we said we were going to work with you. And no, we have a Peace Corps program and that's enough for the Gambia from us.
So in other words, they want to be the conduit of the help or the conduit of whatever happens. It should not go. We cannot connect with our own people. We have to go through the U.S. Embassy to in other words. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, that makes sense because when you always want to be in something, you want people to source you first. Okay, but you were more ingenuitive and more creative, and you had relationships inside of Africa without the U.S. being involved. Am I correct?
Yeah, and as a result, they say you're illegitimate, that you don't have the credentials. Who invited you here? You're not Dr. such and such. It's like, Miss, I barely got the bachelor's, but that doesn't mean I'm not an artist. Like, clearly we have produced results in, the communities where we work. Clearly we're committed to this process. I mean, this is 7 years for us now with the organization, and even without funding, we do this work. And so I feel like that building a portfolio that should give you a seat at the table at some point. And so it's it's surprising sometimes, but I'm hoping that the people will give us a stamp of approval, that they'll say, you know what, we've been watching you, we see you, y'all moving one step at a time. And so quietly, but surely, eventually the people will give us the legitimacy that we need to continue to do this work.
I love that. But and it's just very important that however we can get there. But I also think that we need to get there with some autonomy and sometimes be divorced from the what I would say is these affiliations with the US and having to go through everything with the US thinks for Africa. And that's a problem. I think that we know what we need. We are children of Africa in the diaspora. And I think that we can connect and then bring the US in. But I don't think that's what they're looking to do. They want you to go through them. But whatever, it's a blessing to be there and actually build these relationships. And so you're bringing people from Baltimore or from the States to the Africa, or you're just working in Africa? How's that working?
So how do we do our work? So I talked about RATE, rate. Did I talk about that?
No.
So the R is for research and consultation. The A is for advocacy and exhibition. The T is for training and curricular development, and the E is for exchange and engagement. And so all of the art for social transformation projects or products that we produce, they fall under one of those 4 categories, rate, RATE. And so one of the largest components of our work, in my opinion, is our ability to create exchanges and engagement opportunities for the diaspora on the continent. And so we do that through basic tours. We curate tours around different topics. We use local artist curators, and we see the country through their eyes. So we allow artists to show them their world. And it's beautiful when they're the ones that do it and not the pre-designated tourist guides that are given to you by the tourism Ministry of Tourism in the countries. We also do study abroad and cultural exchange. We have Miss Lauren Bird, Bimmy, that's what they call her in these streets. I'm so excited about Bimmy Bird. She's on her way February 25th to the Gambia for a 3-month, 3-month cultural exchange. She'll be staying in our accommodations, working every day at our office compound, doing work with her exchange sister in the communities. She'll receive different guided tours throughout the Gambia, not only in the city, throughout the Gambia. She's a crochet artist, and she's going to teach crochet to local fishermen and sheros at our shero shop. So that's an example. I'm so excited about her. We have an example, Miss Renee Miller. Renee Miller, she came with us last October to Tanzania for the first time. And we were so impressed by her. And she said that she enjoyed herself so much, she would love to tell other people about our experience. And so this year, we've curated a tour specifically for her based on her own skill sets. She's what you call a love coach. So that's very appropriate for this Valentine Akoma Black Love Week. Yes. So we're bringing people. Yes, yes. She's teaching people about how to promote and preserve Black love, making sure they understand that it's still necessary to be intentional in that space, and giving people opportunities to meet up with folks that think the same way in Tanzania. So I provide the beach, I provide the artists, you know, all the excursions, and she's gonna do workshops.
You own the beach. You provide the beach.
We're working on it. Yes, hopefully that will be finished.
Oh, yes. I see you. Okay. My goodness. So let's do something hypothetical, because I love what you're saying. So if you're an artist, an artist, and that we talk to people, we could go and do a tour for 3 months with the people and work with the people, talk to the people, touch the people, and live in and be safe in Africa?
Absolutely. Like we had an artist with us this past summer. His name is Omari Bey. He works with an organization in town called Wombworks. So Mama Rashida, Stephanie Williams. So Mama Rashida's son. Mama Rashida is one of the founders. They came with us last summer to Tanzania, and we're walking down this pitch black street. And he said, you know, Kim, this is crazy. You know, I live in Brooklyn now, and it's lots of street lights. And when I tell you that I feel more safe walking down this pitch black street back to the hotel from the university than I do in Brooklyn with lots of street lights where I can see everything. It's crazy to me how safe I feel. And I will never forget what he said, because it was like an epiphany. Like, yo, you're so right. Like, I don't feel afraid at all. And I can't even see my hand in front of my face.
Really?
But I felt so at peace. So at peace.
I love that. So you can go, oh man. So that's the exchange. So you would set up the whole exchange about what the person does, and then allow them to do it in Africa with the people.
Yeah, so it depends on their art forms. We have different areas that we have contacts in different regions. So whether you're in youth development, nutrition, it depends on your art form. And then we'll tell you, oh, this is what we have available. If you're in women's empowerment or entrepreneurship, so we'll say, okay, this is a map of the places we work and the outcomes that are needed in these areas. And so let's see where your art form applies. And then some people, they're like, oh, but I'm really interested in this country. And we say, okay, let us see what we can develop. So if maybe you're a cultural exchange, you don't need college credit, but we also provide opportunities for college credit for college students. And some people, they just want to travel. And so they just join one of our tour groups and we call it a day, change lives. They come back, tell the story to their family. We do it all over again.
I love it, Kim. We have to talk off camera. Oh my
Okay.
goodness. I love that. That is amazing because more than, I'm right now, honestly, I'm talking to a guy in Zambia and I want to interview him. I want to do international
Mm.
Sundays. Because
Oh, yes.
I think we don't even hear the voices of our people. We don't know how they talk, how they move, what they do. So I want to kind of introduce people to what goes on. Well, actually Africans, and I think it's important for us to start that connection and to hear their voice and hear what they're doing in their land. And so I'm going to start this segment on Sundays called International Sundays.
Well, let us be your funnel because we got lots of international voices from lots of international places that we would love to be on your platform.
Did
And
you say
thank you
funnel?
again. Yes, funnel.
Funnel. I love that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
funnel. Okay.
And thank you again for allowing my voice to be on your platform. I really appreciate it. I was just saying this year that we want to do more stuff at home. Nas said how you help other places when you ain't helped home yet. And so, I started off helping home and I was in youth development, still a young person. And I said, I want to go live my own best life. And I've done that quite a bit. And now I'm ready to also come back and do more things at home. And so thank you for this platform. It means the world to me in Black History Month, my own people's history, to be talking in my own city on a platform developed by my own Baltimore sister, born and raised. So thank you so much. Now I do have to get out of here. I know
Well,
the
I'm not born
National
and
Black
raised.
Unity News
I
is
know you
about to kill
leaving.
me.
I know you leaving, but I'm not born and raised. I came to go to Morgan. So
Oh,
I'm an
a
implant.
trickster. You tricked me.
I know you did say a trickster. No, I love Baltimore. Don't say that. Don't say that. So Kim, I know you have to go. I appreciate you. Let me say the last thing. Us being sisters, don't ever schedule me for 30 minutes. That's how you get cut. That's how you get cut, sis. Let's not do that, okay, sis?
Listen,
All
we're
right.
gonna get lunch. We're gonna
That's
give you international Sundays, artists from around the world.
that's what I'm
I
gonna.
got you.
So this is what we're gonna do. I appreciate you. Thanks for coming. You are doing amazing things in the community. Keep it up. I am so glad to connect with you. I can't wait till we talk off camera. Have a blessed night. You're in Virginia, right? You're not even in Baltimore.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, for the
So
week,
I
for the
know you're
week.
always traveling everywhere. So enjoy your night. Thank you for coming on and telling us about the Teaching Artists Institute. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, sis. Next
Peace.
time, okay?
Give me some deuces. You gotta at least do some. Oh, damn. She gone. She gone, y'all. So listen, we had Kim Poole. She is from the Teaching Art Institute. She actually she had another gig. So it's good. She spent 35 minutes with me, and I appreciate that. And so you guys go back and source what she does. We need to travel to Africa. We need to travel to places where we can see our own selves, where we can see ourselves in leadership, where we can see our children playing in dirt, children who are playing outside. Let's talk about that. Not that our children don't, but we live in a very advanced country. We need to see a country that all of us came from. And we need to go there and actually see what's going on in Africa. I know you guys travel and you want to go all over the world, but make Africa a destination. Check out the Teaching Artists Institute because she curates tours to Africa where you can go and you'll actually be placed in a place where you can stay. You can tour the actual community in Africa and just do things that you would normally do. So please, Teaching Artists Institute, check them out. We are BLaK Box Radio. Check us out at BLaKBoXXRadio.com. Also, check out our YouTube channel. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to build it up. This has been the BMore BLaK Series. We just had our sixth voice, Kim Poole. And tomorrow we're on and we have some babas. And we're going to talk about the park vibe, drum crew that's been, I think they've been together for over 40 years. So we need to hear about this crew in Baltimore. And we got two brothers who are actually drummers and a part of this institution in Baltimore. So thank you guys for letting me come into your house, your home, your car, your tunnel, your frog, wherever you at. Thank you for letting me come into that and bring some Black people from Baltimore. And we are truly boxed up and out. Deuces.